Your behaviour determines how good a manager you are. It influences the behaviour of your direct reports. A better understanding of our own behaviour leads to more control of our interactions. And with our behaviour, we can influence the behaviour of others. So let's go on a journey to answer this key question. What determines our behaviour? Imagine you are driving on a mountain road on a sunny day. Up in the mountains, you will meet an important person, so being on time is crucial. You have driven on this road before, and you know that on the straight parts, you can easily drive 60 kilometers per hour. In the curves, you can reach 30 kilometers per hour. There is no one else on the road, and you are driving much faster than you expected. How do you feel? Suddenly, you face the backside of an old Volkswagen camper van. The road is so curvy that overtaking seems impossible. Your average speed tumbles down to 15 kilometers per hour. In the curves, you drive so slowly that the engine of your car almost dies. Time ticks. How do you feel? How do you behave? Suddenly, you have the opportunity to overtake the camper van, and with the speed of light, you jump on the moment. Driving a split second next to the slow driver, you send him your most angry look. But looking at the driver's face, your heart drops, and you crawl back behind the camper van. Why did you decide to change your behaviour? What did you see? So what determines our behaviour? The situation? No, it's not the situation we're in. Because if this was the case, every person would behave in the same manner, in the same situation. It is how we perceive the situation, how we look at the situation that determines our behaviour. In short, our perception dictates our behaviour. For example, you have a negative perception of a colleague because you had a bad experience. Now, you have another meeting with him. How will you most likely behave unconsciously during this meeting? Let's go one level deeper. Where does our image come from? We look at reality. For example, the camper van, the colleague, through our filter. And we form a specific perception, an image of this reality. What is in our filter that leads to this specific perception? Our filter is filled with many items, and as life goes on, the content of our filter grows and grows. Our filter controls our perception of reality, and our perception dictates our behaviour. So what is the secret to control our behaviour? By controlling our filter, we can control our behaviour. How well do you know the content of your filter? What is it in your filter that makes you think that, for example, that something is too expensive because of your personal value system, or your budget is a bit tight at the moment? Why is the complaining colleague sometimes irritating? What is in our filter? Is it a memory, an experience from years ago? Is it our upbringing? How do we look at colleagues? To what extent do we behave aligned with our filter, our values? For instance, if respect is one of our key values, what do we show to others when we are angry or yell at someone? Do we show respect? Are we consistent? Are we aligned with what we say? Let's make it more complicated. Imagine two people talking with each other. How likely is it that they will have the same image of the topic? Indeed, this chance is very small, almost non-existent. Why? Because of the differences in filters. For example, you inform your colleague about a change in the company structure, about which you are very enthusiastic. Your filter contains all your expectations of this change and what it will bring you. Your colleague is not so enthusiastic. He does not see what the added value is. So his first reaction is, I do not see the added value. Most of the time, people have different images of the same situation. In other words, do you look intensively through the other person's filter? Finally, what is the only way to connect and to understand the other person? Put yourself in their shoes. Easy? Not really. Why? First of all, we hardly question our own filter. We tend to believe it is the reality. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Obviously, there are different perceptions of reality. Secondly, while listening to the other person's image, what do we do most of the time? We tend to listen for the negative, for what we dislike in his image, for why he has the wrong idea. As we tend to preserve our own opinion, we can be very negative. I am sure you spotted the spelling mistakes almost immediately, and that proves our tendency. Imagine a colleague tells us, I am happy that something is going to change, but I do not see the use of a change in the company structure. How do most people react? On what do we focus? That he does not see the use of a change in the company structure. Did you hear the first part of my remark? The part that contains the positive side? Why don't we dig here? Many times, we hardly hear the positive elements, or we do not elaborate on the positives because the negative grabs us much more. I am sure you have met people who always immediately focus on the negative, who know immediately why this new idea or this announced change is useless, as if the positive side of the coin does not exist. If we want to control our behaviour, we need to control our image, and therefore, our filter. And we can choose through which part of our filter we look, the part that makes us look at reality in a negative way. Or the opposite. It's a matter of choosing to use our positive inner attitude, PIA. Having a positive influence on colleagues starts with you showing behaviour that they label as positive, supportive behaviour. Before we determine what we will put into action after this module, first, a short exercise. Think of a colleague that is not one of your favourite colleagues. Now write down 5 positive characteristics of this person.